Hello, America. What's going on? It's Mike Brock again from Notes from the Circus with your continuing coverage of the unfolding geopolitical catastrophe that is our world today. Um, so much to talk about. There certainly isn't a dearth of things to talk about. We've been talking about a lot of things, and this is my daily 4 p.m. live stream. Is it a podcast? Isn't it? I don't know. What is it? Whatever I'm doing, I'm recording into the internet, and there's a video file that I upload after this for the people who wish to listen later. So whatever it is, whatever word you want to give it, I don't have a good name for what I'm doing right now. I'm going to call it the 4 p.m. show in my own mind. You can call it that too. Um, so the catastrophe that is our world continues apace, of course. I want to talk about some of the things I've written about over the last 24 hours. I put out a piece on Mr. Cook, Mr. Tim Cook at Apple, and I published. I've been working. People know that I have been working on my book about my search for meaning. It's a book that I've been sort of building the manuscript up over 2 years. I wrote the final chapter last night actually, and then edited it a little bit this morning and published a version of it on Notes from the Circus. The final, and which is kind of a weird thing to do. You write this whole book and then you're not going to publish the final chapter, like just but I have it currently behind the paywall. So obviously I appreciate paid subscriptions. You can get access to the final chapter of my book so far unpublished. And I put it out because it has thoughts that I think are just like directly relevant to this moment. And like I said in the past, none of this is a profit maximizing venture for me. I'm just trying to sustain. What I want to do is do what I can do and keep doing what I can do to um, provide perspective, an integrated perspective on what it is that I think is happening in this world that we find ourselves living in. What a crazy world. What a tragic world. The tragic dimension in which we live. But I want to start by talking about the piece I wrote last night while I was moving back and forth. Actually, I'm quite. If you saw the way that I write, it's kind of crazy. I have like a lot. Like I have a lot of like narratives going in my head, like at any given time, right? For like essays and stuff. So like I have essays in progress, and I have like the manuscript in progress, and sometimes manuscript writing turns into Substack writing. Substack writing kind of informs, and I go back and I like change. I make edits to a chapter in the manuscript. It's a very organic thing. It's not systematized in any way. But last night I was sitting on my couch with my cat and my laptop when I wrote Captain Ahab has caught his whale last night. I was just sort of sitting there. It was funnily enough the idea to write the piece was kind of came to me while I joined I talked to some members of the Bitcoin enthusiast community on X. I joined one of the X lives. Some people, some of the people on there sort of like knew me of my like personal endeavors in that space. We had a nice conversation. They were like pretty cool guys. We just chatted about stuff. And I was thinking, and while I was thinking about that, I just I have a lot, I have a lot of people that I know in my life that have very strong opinions about what's going on in the Middle East. So, I mean, there's really no sort of argument or angle here that's of particular sort of foreign import to me, as it pertains to sort of the justifications for like why one should take one stance or another, for the Palestinians, for the Israelis, anything in between. I stated my view in the piece that I wrote last night. I mean, I think that the way I sort of look at it, right, as a responsible steward, as a citizen of the United States, I'm a citizen of this country, just a citizen, speaking my mind, my First Amendment right to speak to my fellow citizens and to, um, uh, I have a right to seek redress of my grievances before my Congress. Congress, I'm seeking redress of grievances, and to any others who would undersign the things that I have to say, which is that my sense of responsibility as a citizen, as it sort of pertains to like what's going on in the Middle East, is that like we have certain capacities as a country right now, right? If viewed through our values, um, that we should use to bring about a cessation of these hostilities, so innocent people stop dying. Now, I well understand I'm not a peacenik. Those of you who read me know that I'm not an isolationist. I have no I have no quarrel with the idea that like certain people have to be fought. Ukraine, for example, and Vladimir Putin. I believe that we should. I mean, I if it were me, I mean, I would give Ukraine all the weapons we could to defeat Mr. Putin. I am not a pacifist. That is not what I am. But I mean, I do not believe that the continued prosecution of this war in the Middle East serves our interests or the interests of anyone in the Middle East, including the Iranian people at this point. And the reason I think that is that the IRGC, the Iranian regime, who are a very evil regime, to be clear. Um, they're a very evil regime, and as I said, the idea for the piece came last night as I was having this conversation with these guys. And I had been thinking about a lot of the propaganda. Like I pay very careful attention to propaganda. Like I mean, my one of the ways in which I try to understand our political environment is by trying to understand it from the perspective of the way that other people understand it, which is through people are scrolling and they're doom scrolling and they're looking at Instagram reels and TikTok. And so, I mean, I throw myself in those worlds, not as an addiction, but as a sort of a very clear-eyed analysis of, okay, this is what they're looking at. This is the meme they're sharing. Okay, I get it. And so I do this. I subject myself to this world so that I may understand. And I've been paying very careful attention to the propaganda out of the Iranians, out of the IRGC, and it's just, I mean, what can one say? I mean, like they're winning the propaganda war, right? And I don't say that because like I'm on their side. I'm not. I mean, like guys, if like, look, I mean, if it were me, like I would hang them all. I would hang all the mullahs. So, I mean, I would do it. I mean, they're evil people. They oppress people. The state of women's rights in Iran is atrocious. The young people of Iran. I mean, I know some Iranians. I know some Iranian human rights activists personally. And I want nothing more than for the Persian people to breathe free. I mean, I'm very romantic of that notion, and I'll do whatever I can to help bring about that freedom. But what I know in this moment is that like we're not doing that. That what's happening actually is we're giving the IGC a propaganda win here against us. And that doesn't serve the cause of democracy in Iran or in the Middle East at large. I don't believe that Benjamin Netanyahu gives a shit about democracy. I think he's in fact a wannabe dictator of Israel. That's what I think. That's why he tried to take over the Supreme Court of Israel, because he wants to get rid of this criminal indictment against him that's been slowly, somehow, creepily slowed down, stopped. Like, I mean, through some sort of like insane political jujitsu within the Israeli political system. I mean, so if like democracy is what we're talking about here, bringing that to Iran with actors like Donald Trump and Benjamin Netanyahu, two wannabe dictators, two fascists in their own respects. I mean, I like see like this, and like if people think that this is anti-Semitic, I mean, fuck you times 1,000. If anybody thinks that like I'm anti-Jewish or anything like that, I swear to God, try it. Say it to me. Say it on the internet. And if I find it, and God, I will. I use like AI now and stuff like that. I want to see what people are saying about me. And if I find out that you're saying that I'm anti-Jewish or anti-Semitic, I'm coming for you rhetorically. I will destroy you. Fuck you. Because like I'm sick and tired of qualifying myself. Nobody who knows me personally in my life would ever accuse me of any kind of bigotry like that. So uh, go to hell. Benjamin Netanyahu is a crook. I don't even think I don't even think he's a like I think he's an atheist. I do. Not that there's anything wrong with that. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with being an atheist. That's not my point. My point is that like I don't think the man actually like is a practitioner of the Jewish faith. So if one is coming at this from this idea that like he is a protector of the Jewish faith, I would say no, that's not true. He's as much a protector of the Jewish faith as Donald Trump is a protector of the Christian faith, which is to say, no, it's not. He is its opposite. And that much is clear. That much is clear. Like no matter what sort of medieval story you tell yourself about the threats to the state of Israel by its enemies, and it has enemies. I'm not denying this. And we can get into all of that, but like there is something here. There's a string of legitimacy questions related to the political order of both now my country and this country, the state of Israel. That the answers to those questions of legitimacy, they're not good. They're actually quite bad. They suggest that like the people that we have in charge are criminals. They're crooks. They're thieves. They lie. They lie with reckless abandon. They manipulate. And their main interest, as far as I can tell, is for them to stay in power and to keep all of their riches to themselves. This seems to be what they're aiming at. This seems to be what their sort of summum bonum of their personal philosophy seems to be. This seems to be obvious. I think ordinary people recognize this. I think a 14-year-old boy or girl could recognize this if they sort of just looked at the plain facts. And like and I think any kind of conversation that takes us away from this sort of basic recognition, this basic simple truth that we are ruled by liars and cheaters and thieves in this country, certainly in Israel, is well, I mean, it's giving way to self-delusion. It's playing a game that shouldn't be played. It's playing the reactionary game, the game they want you to play. It's like, oh, how can you say that? How dare you? How dare you call Donald Trump a criminal? I call him a criminal over and over again. He is the great usurper, the worst criminal of all Americans ever. The great usurper, for which I opposed. I oppose any idea that we shall hold him in effigy. If we do that, if we hold Mr. Trump in effigy, I mean I will oppose that. I will suggest that any statue of his be taken down, any portrait. I do not want Mr. Trump associated with the patriotic tradition of the American Revolution. He is not that. He is the anti to the act, to the creation of this republic, to the project of the people sovereign over these lands. That is what he is. He does not deserve any place. He does not deserve any place of any honor in any regard. I'm sorry, he does not. I oppose this. And if you are saying that's unfair, it's unfair if Obama gets a portrait or Obama gets a thing. No, it's like it's different. Obama didn't. isn't a usurper, you see. This idea of partisan fairness is a game. It's a reactionary game, a fascist game, you see. Um, and so I'm not going to give way on this. And I don't care if that alienates me. I don't care if you think that's partisan. It has nothing to do with partisanship. If you're a Republican, you should agree with me. You should agree with me on these basic facts, like whether or not you agree with me on whatever other policies that I may prefer in the public debate, and we can have a conversation about that. If you think that, as a matter of fairness, that like Bill Clinton or someone must first fall, or Hillary Clinton must first fall on their sword before you're willing to admit that Donald Trump, the great usurper of the American Revolution, which is what he is, if you are to insist that this is what I must give, like, I will pay no tribute to this. Fuck you. There is no system of fairness to be negotiated here. You're full of shit. And honestly, I think you should apologize for even suggesting the notion. Do you think I'm stupid? So there's that. That's, so that's how I feel about how we should think about, cataloging Mr. Trump in our history books. I think he's the great usurper. And so this is this. I dedicate my life to debating with any fellow American who thinks that I'm unfair about this. I will patiently engage you in debate on this topic until I set you straight, because you're wrong about that if you think what I'm saying isn't true. It just is. It's just the truth. The thing is, you must know. You must see. So even if, like, you're going to hold on to this sort of sense of fairness, and I understand this weird tribal impulse that people have. It's like, your tribe gets something. Why doesn't my tribe get something? So, like, if Donald Trump must be charged, then surely there must be a charge for Clinton as well. It's like, do you understand that you sound like a child? Because you are. You're a child. You have the morality of a child. That's what you are. If you're on the right and this is how you sound, you're childish. This isn't about sides. Honestly, I don't care. We're going to talk about the left in a second. Oh, this will be the part the right likes, when right goes after the left. But this idea, this sense of part, this like kind of like this fairness economy that Republicans, conservatives, like, in that they have in their head, like in the culture. It's like, you guys got your Hollywood liberal culture. Why don't we get our conservative culture? You guys get your liberal version of facts. Why can't we have our conservative liberal facts? Like, what are we talking about? Like, this is like the like the fact that anyone like buys into this in the first instance, that they think that like Barry Weiss is like restoring some sort of like objective balance, and doesn't actually just represent doesn't just basically like represent the a force of reactionary bullshit in service of the maintenance of existing power structures. You're a fool. Look, Barry, what Barry Weiss is trying to do is trying to generate scandal against Gavin Newsom here in California, right? With this hospice fraud, right? Like, that's like the thing, right? Like, Donald Trump, the world's falling apart. And look, I'm not saying the hospice scandal isn't real. That's not what I'm saying. I mean, there's scandals like everywhere, like all the time. There's so many fraudulent people in our country. But like the fact that she's like, this isn't what's being covered by the mainstream news. This is what proves that the mainstream media isn't balanced. We're not talking about the California hospice fraud. See, this is why we needed to bring Barry in. These mainstream people, all they're doing is focusing on the fact that Donald Trump is burning the world down. Why aren't they talking about the fact that Gavin Newsom didn't stop this hospice crisis? This is reaction. This is her proving that she's a fascist. Barry Weiss is a fascist. So, that is what is happening there. Someone's asking if I was a drama nerd. No, I'm not. Like, this is like, I've never been into acting or drama in my life. This is just me at my wit's end with people. And so if you feel, I mean, this is just me. Yeah. I mean, this is just me engaging in mockery. This is just my form of mocking people. Barry Weiss is a fascist. I stand by that statement for the reasons aforementioned. If everyone can't understand, like, that's exactly like what's going on in her head. It's like, I mean, whether or not she believes that of herself, I mean, I don't know. I mean, but that's what that is. That's what that is. This notion that, like, we're gonna cover the things that the New York Times won't cover. Yes, the things that will make Gavin Newsom look bad, that will bring some balance, because all the mainstream media will talk about is the bad things Donald Trump is doing, the people that he's shooting in the streets, and the TSA officers clobbering people at airports, and the international energy crisis. Yes, it's all that, but what about the good things Donald Trump is doing? Barry Weiss wants people to know. Why aren't they mentioning the fact that Donald Trump has sealed the border? That, like, or maybe that, like why not like say, like, get the CBS News out there to do like a feel good piece on, like, Marco Rubio's, like, upbringing, and like how he dreams of a free Cuba that his parents had to flee. Like, Barry Weiss is clearly a fascist. I mean, I would say this to her face. And like anyone else who, like, buys into this notion that this narrative is just like a rebalancing of something that's aiming at some normative center, is normalizing fascism. So, like, the fact that she will criticize Donald Trump at the edges performatively. I mean, Putin does this too. Vladimir Putin allows his regime media to do sort of these sort of performative at the edge criticisms of the regime. Like, oh, I did, like, you see this happen with, like, if you should, if you don't, you should, there's lots of people like Vlad Vexler, right? Like, talks a lot, like he does a lot of this analysis, or has done this analysis on his, like, YouTube channels, right? Like, even in Russia, like, one of the things that the Russian media will sometimes do is they'll sort of, or they'll allow Russian citizens to sort of, like, complain about, like, certain sort of, like, marginal, like, political issues. Oh, I didn't actually, like, agree with that particular Putin policy, but never like the big ones, right? Never like the actual Ukraine war. I mean, you're going to jail if you say something about that. I mean, so like what you see in Barry Weiss is, like, she's a fascist propagandist for a fascist regime that, I mean, whether or not she fully supports the regime, I mean, she supports, like, Benjamin Netanyahu, like to the death, right? Like, she has taken a knee to Benjamin Netanyahu. I understand that she's an American citizen, but this is clearly where her normative orientation is towards. Everyone understands this. I mean, it's just the truth. I mean, I'm sorry. I mean, she's entitled to this opinion over the First Amendment, and I'm entitled to point it out. that this is what's going on, not because she's Jewish. I love, I actually, I quite like the Jewish faith. I'm here in Los Angeles. We have a lot of Jews. I mean, I have a lot. I mean, I'm in a very kind of Orthodox neighborhood. Actually, there's a lot of Orthodox Jews in my neighborhood. They're all friendly people. I see them at the park. I say hi. I mean, I have no problem with Judaism. So I think that this idea that we that Barry Weiss is somehow should be inoculated from the observation that she's a fascist propagandist is just simply beyond the pale. I definitely am not an anti-Semite. I reject this notion. I will defend myself on this charge. It's just I don't think I've ever said anything that ever comes close to inviting animus upon the good people of the Jewish faith. So fuck you if you make that accusation. I'll fuck you 1,000 times. Well, actually, I won't. Sorry, that's going to get clipped now. Go for it. I don't care. But I mean, I will say fuck you to you 1,000 times. And when you're live, you're bound to make these slip ups. Um, but I say what I would say. What I would yeah what I would say to you is that like her vision. I don't think. I mean, I can't see her. I mean, I as someone who's just writing this book on meaning, and actually, I talk a lot about the Jewish faith, right? In my book on meaning, and I think I do. I think I actually think the Jewish community will be happy with some of the things I have to say, as will the Christians. And in the book when I like finally get it out, but I mean, like I don't think that I don't think that um uh that Barry Weiss is good for the Jewish people because she supports a fascist regime, and I don't know why any Jew would support a fascist regime. I mean, every Jew alive today like should have the sort of the historical memory necessary to sort of notice the things that Hannah Arendt well documented, right, as she sort of described this banality of evil, of the machine, that the Nazis constructed, the sort of the faceless bureaucracy, the people who just sort of mechanistically followed procedures and allowed one of the greatest crimes against humanity ever perpetuated, the Holocaust, my God, and then like fall into the trap of becoming fascist in service of, you know, other particular goals, different from Hitler's, of course, obviously. I mean, he was an anti-Semite. But like, yeah, the emergence of fascist Jews um, uh, it's a disgusting irony. It's a terrible blight. Um, and honestly, the rise of fascist Christians here in America is just a terrible blight. The rise of fascists at all, fascist Americans, and we have fascists. Like, I mean, fascism has returned, and it has returned to. It's returned. It's in Israel. It's in America. It's in the UK. It's everywhere. Fascism has returned to this earth, and I'm not going to get cowed into ignoring what is obvious, that yes, there are fascist Jews and fascist Muslims and fascist Christians, fascist atheists. There are fascists. There are all different versions of metaphysical fascists, and I am an enemy to them all because I am on the side of the good-natured people of the earth. However they um, however they pray, or whether they do or not, I'm on their side, and I won't be scared out of making observations of things that I happen to believe are true. So um, this is fascism. It must be stopped. Um, I would suggest that everybody um, update their priors if they haven't yet accepted that, and prepare to prepare to lose something so that we may gain some territory, um, into the great unknown, into the great undiscovered country of tomorrow. We'll reframe Hamlet a little bit. So that's what I have. That's what I have to say to you guys today. Those are my thoughts. Those are my words, my notes, my voice from the circus here in Los Angeles on this March 25th, 2026, in our 249th year of this American experiment. Thank you, everybody. I appreciate the subscriptions. If you're not a subscriber, please subscribe to Notes from the Circus, and I'll see you again tomorrow at 4 p.m. Uh, Pacific time, 7 p.m. Eastern. Thank you.